Telling your story is an inclusive view of the people around us who share the same dreams and goals but face different challenges moving forward. We hope you come away from each show inspired. Keep watching for this episode of Telling Your Story with Terrel and Nick, coming up next. Hello and welcome to Telling Your Story with Terrel and Nick. We're so glad you tuned in to watch. I'm Nick.
I'm Terrel.
And we are your co-hosts. We have two awesome guests here today.
I'm really moved by that.
Yes, same, and that's very appropriate because we're going to welcome today to our show Devenio in Motion founder Gina Mitchell and Devenio sports player Nikhil. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right, ready?
Let's do this.
Gina, can you talk to us a little bit about where did your story begin?
Sure, thank you. So my story began, I guess, first as a mother. I have 3 daughters. One of them has Down syndrome. And trying to find programs and events for all of my kids for activities and different things that they're interested in. And is really, I think as a parent, what we call their thing. And you try soccer, you try art class, you try karate, you try cooking and different things. And having served in the nonprofit community with the Down Syndrome Network of Montgomery County for a long time, you know, understanding the different programs, and then realizing when my daughter with Down syndrome was asking to do similar things, when is my game, when is my this, we created the soccer program probably 3 or 4 years before Devenio even existed, because we were trying to find her thing, what she wanted to do. And then through my presidency with the Down Syndrome Network, started the Race for Respect, which is the only 5K and event in Washington, D.C. that stops traffic for Down syndrome. Prior to that, there'd never been a awareness event in D.C. that was for Down syndrome, which was interesting. So as a runner, that was a strong interest for it, and then got together the 8 groups, Down syndrome groups that surround Washington, D.C. So ultimately, the Race for Respect needed a home because working with different organizations, and that's how Devenio exists. That's how it came to be. So it's not the normal path, say, of a nonprofit where you sit down and you say, we're going to serve X amount of people, we're going to do, and you document everything.
Right.
Some of these things existed. And around the same time that the Race for Respect, after the first year, going to our soccer program, and at the time it was only the fall season, and everyone was asking, will you do it in the spring? Will you do it in the spring? And it was really just a natural time to say, it's a lot for one family to do 2 seasons, and to bring it into, bring it under the organization as well. So that is how Devenio came to be, serving program and events, enduring programs and events for individuals with cognitive and developmental disabilities to be seen and to also feel as contributing members of the community. And that's where we're from.
Oh, that's a great origin story.
Nice.
Yeah, I think
like
that's
that.
wonderful. And Nikhil, how about you? Where did your story begin? How did you become involved with Devenio?
Well, you see, what happened was, I have this really nice friend whose name is Jonah. He's been doing it for some time. Then over the summer, before the new school year started, my mom told me that Jonah's mom told her about the soccer, and that my mom thinks that it would be good for me and my brother to do it. And then the first day, I came the first day, and it looked like so much fun. I remember the first time I ever did it, it was raining, but we still managed to have it.
Wow.
And so, but then so we always try to have it. So the first day was amazing, and then over time I started liking it more and more and more. Then I started understanding how it is at soccer. Like I actually understand why this organization started, because kids with disabilities, they can't actually do real professional soccer, and so this would be good for them.
Wow, that's fabulous. And how long have you been doing it now?
I have been doing it for I think 2 or 3 years. I have been doing this.
3 years. Can you talk a little bit about, you have programs in soccer called the Fun Bunch, which would be what age
Youth.
group? Okay.
And that's how it started. We served 5 or 6 years old through 18, but predominantly we had the younger population.
Okay.
So the youth
So
sports
you
is
use
Fun
the
Bunch.
young group first, and then you go to the older group?
Well, yeah, what happened was the kids that we were serving for this number of years, they were growing up.
Right.
And all of a sudden they needed more. And that's why we added on the Devenio soccer being serving teen and adult.
All right.
Okay, and so that's where you are now, in the
Yes.
Devenio soccer.
Yes, that is where I am.
That's wonderful. If you could describe, and I know Terrel does a lot of sports as well, if you could describe, how does it feel when you're out playing soccer at Devenio? What does it feel like?
It feels like that I'm having my blood go up a bit, because when I'm running around trying to get the ball in there, at least it gives exercise to my legs and to my arms, because when I'm using my arms to put force to just getting speed to kick the ball into the goal. And then I have very good eye and good aim for the goal most of the time. And so when I'm looking at the goal very closely, I know where the ball needs to go to, like where in the goal it has to go to.
Wow, you're doing all of that thinking while you're running. I mean, so many things are happening at the same time.
Yes.
That's awesome. And you're playing on a team, right? So
Yes.
you've got lots of people depending on you, and you're depending on them. So what does that feel like to be working with a team?
Well, it feels great to work with a team, because then if they need any help, I'm always happy to help them. Like if they need help trying to score the goal, I could just tell them like how they should throw it. Like if they're on this side and the goal is right here, then they could just tell them, kick it from here, kick it in there, and it'll come into that goal.
Wow.
All right. Can you tell us more about how do you start your sports? I do some Special Olympics, and I did soccer. First I did basketball. I did soccer. I didn't like soccer very much, so I go into skiing. So I do that. So I understand a lot about scoring and all that. Do you score less than I score like around 5 or 6 goals. You score more than that?
Well, I mean, I could score more than that, but sometimes it can be a little bit hard and tricky at times. But
A lot of passing.
so we also work with the passing. I'm good with passing too. I remember the first time I didn't actually feel like it, because I felt like nothing would work out if I did it. But then when I learned that doing it over time, things started working out better and better.
That's
All
great.
right.
And it sounds like, I mean, really what I'm hearing is that you're not only just a leader in that community, but you're a compassionate leader. Like you're really thinking about how the other people are feeling, you're giving them feedback, you're supporting them. And that's wonderful. I mean, that gives you such a great chance to practice leadership skills. And I would imagine, Nikhil, that being a leader and working in that group must help in terms of being, off the field. Do you find that to be true? Do you learn things at Devenio Soccer that you can use just in life?
Well, I think I do, because when I'm doing it, I can actually tell me, like, if I actually want to become, if I ever want to teach someone how to play soccer, I can just do it, teach them. And if someone comes to my house, they want to play soccer in my house, I can show them what to do.
That's awesome. That's great. And Terrel, I know you love, love, love sports.
Yes.
What is the thing that draws you? What do you think draws you the most to sports? Like,
making friends, and also I like to make friends, and also I like to be in a group, teammates. I think if you play on the team, you have to have a teammates, and make sure your team work with you, not separately. If
Right.
your team work with you, you are good. If your team work separately, you are not good.
and you know, we're going to hear more about Devenio, some of the awesome programs that they have coming up, some cool events you won't want to miss. And we'll hear more from Nikhil and his perspectives on being a member at Devenio Soccer. So don't go away. We'll be right back after this short break.
Coming here and having a group like this where she just fits in perfectly, where we're accepted, we belong, we're the community.
It's just a chance for us to really coach these kids and challenge them, but at the same time motivate them, support them, and encourage them to be better soccer players.
My neighbor is actually one of the athletes who participates in this, and I was babysitting him and I was playing soccer with him, and his dad told me about this program and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Watching this inspirational group of athletes smile and have fun and get to shine as individuals has just been wonderful. As a parent of one of the buddies, it's been a real pleasure to come out here and see this develop.
It's really changed her life. I mean, she's very happy, you know, and she feels like she's a part of the team and you know, very special.
And every single time I come, the athletes put a smile on my face.
Just being a coach, it's a blessing. You know what I mean? To help these kids and to be a part of their life.
The way you see the players interact with each other, interact with us, like, you know, this is like making a big difference in their life, and it's making a big difference in my life too.
Welcome back. Terrel and I are talking with Gina Mitchell, founder of Devenio, and one of Devenio's soccer players, Nikhil. So we have lots of exciting things on this half of the show. We'd like to check in, Gina, to ask you about where do you hold your practices? How can people find out more about Devenio and some of the other classes that Devenio offers?
Sure. We have, so one of the cornerstones of what we do is we collaborate with the community. So it's not about holding our classes in, you know, just off on its own. So we are very fortunate, and we work with Little Flower School in Bethesda, as well as the Maryland Soccerplex, the community center we use out in Prince George's County. Also, we have a team, because the fields are very important as far as not just cognitive and developmental disabilities, but some with physical disabilities as well. So the terrain is also important for participation and getting a full experience. We also partner, and that's for soccer. We also have a dance program, and we partner with Joy of Motion Dance Center. So we have dance classes in their Friendship Heights as well in their Bethesda locations. And then we also have started working with Elements Dance Company, and we ran a class last fall in Washington, D.C. So really partnering is the key to where our locations are, because it's not about doing something different. There are wonderful, we found a wonderful dance studio in Joy of Motion, and we partnered with them. And we bring the expertise in really creating the program and, you know, educating their instructors and the organization and working together, as well as then partnering with these different organizations like, you know, the Soccerplex and with the school, where we're in the community and they're being generous with the location for us with those as well.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me, I understand about business because I work for Special Olympics, and I learned about Special Olympics overall. we deal with money situation. I don't know about what you do in your at your company. Is it money situation or
It's a
you got
nonprofit,
money?
yeah.
So
Just like you, right? It's all
yes, just like
just like
many
you and
wonderful
the
nonprofits.
organizations, Yeah.
Okay.
So is it tuition based, Gina? So
We do a nominal tuition base, so we work obviously, but we also apply for grants. We do donations. Sometimes it's in kind, sometimes, and we do different fundraisers. But yes, we do charge a nominal fee because we do. The difference in I think what we do is it's really about these enduring programs, right? It's all about activities or skills that individuals with disabilities want to participate in
Right.
long term, things they can do, when they are 5 or 6 up through adulthood.
Right.
So we hire the instructors. We are a volunteer organization. We need a large number of volunteers. However, we do pay and believe in paying for quality instruction as well. So not everything, and I think there's value in completely volunteer-based programs, but there is a middle ground,
Right.
and that's really where I'd say Devenio is.
Okay.
Nikhil, do you foresee staying with soccer as you get older?
I do foresee staying in soccer as I get older because it's a lot of fun. We often do fun things, and plus I get to actually have more friends from there.
Well, it's something that we were talking about right before the break. Is you were talking about the social piece,
Right.
that you've made so many friends
Yeah.
in sports, and so Nikhil, I would love to hear about that from your perspective. Like you're really meeting people and forming these bonds.
So the way I'm meeting people is when I'm seeing somebody who in need of help, I just go and ask them for help, and then in the meantime, I just try to introduce myself to them. So if they need help again, they can just come and find me and I can help them.
That's wonderful. So it's like friendship. I mean, it's really just reaching out and connecting
Yeah.
to people and having them trust you and feel connected to you as well.
Yep.
And also the physical part, as we were talking about
Right.
earlier, just the actual physical benefits of playing soccer, and that it's a skill
Yeah.
that you're
it's a
learning and
skill.
growing with a skill. So Gina, you've got some upcoming events that are
We
really
do.
exciting. Can you share a little bit more about some of the events
Is
that you
it
have
about
coming up?
dancing?
So there is, it's funny you say dancing.
You like dancing.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
dancing.
you do. You
I
like
like
dancing. He likes dancing.
I'm not a dancing kind of person, but I don't mind it.
So we do.
Good one.
It's pretty common, I think, for nonprofits to have gala, and it's one of the things actually we're not going to do. However, I've always been very interested because I've been very fortunate in participating in the schools or my daughter's environment, whatever they're doing, different
Right.
activities, and really getting exposure to the teens and that surround them, and
Yeah.
from when they were younger, and just understanding their interest or so. We have we do have a gala. It's actually a teen gala, though. It's for high school students, and it's held at the Fillmore. We have probably 24 to 28 high school students from about 14 different schools that plan it, and they decided where they wanted it to be. It's a dance, there's dinner, there's dancing. There is a silent auction, so obviously there's a fundraising component. They raise money, though, online, and then we give them Devenio dollars, and that's what they use to bid at the auction. So last year someone walked away with a Stephen Curry jersey because she raised a lot of money for Devenio. Some people walked away with a makeup basket and they were just as happy.
Oh, sure.
So there's a variety. So I don't mean to say that, we have everything in between, a college dorm basket, but it's really about exposing these students to that environment. They should have that opportunity. They shouldn't have to wait, in my opinion, till they've
Right.
graduated from from college, where they're out in the world. I mean, I think that I've talked to so many interesting teenagers. What else can I do? What can I do? And then they've learned about planning an event. They've learned about what it takes and why it's important that we do it. When we talk about the budget, or we talk about, well, we can't do that because if we don't raise money for this, or where does this money go? How does that work? Well, what do we want to do with it? And they get to also contribute to the organization on a
Right.
different level. I just got a call from, I just actually did a walkthrough today at the Fillmore, and we talked about one of the co-chairs from last year, and she's in college because she was a senior, and she contacted me recently and said, I'm in an event planning class, I need to interview someone and talk about an experience that I had, and she contacted them. And that's something she might actually pursue long term,
Right.
and that's going to be a part of who she is. But she learned a great deal, and now she's talking about doing events and being involved while she's in college.
Wow,
So
that's
it's really
good.
about, but the event itself is about an opportunity to educate students, to have experiences like I wouldn't have if I didn't have a daughter with Down syndrome or a disability. I've had an opportunity to hear so many wonderful speakers. You know, I go to
Right.
conferences, accomplished individuals that I would never have met. And, you know, they should have that opportunity. And so we've had self-advocates come and speak. And those kids will walk away with a piece of that. And they're going to be inspired to hopefully create change in some way, whether it's through disabilities or it's going to be through homelessness, hunger. It could be through suicide. It could be domestic abuse. Whatever their cause is, they're going to understand the process, and they're going to understand what you can do when you come together. And that's really about changing not just, you know, programs for my daughter or for Nikhil or for their peers. It's really about changing the community at large, because if we don't do that, then I just have a great program for my daughter, and that was great.
Right.
Yeah,
So if we don't change holistically, but the Teen Gala is a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and it's
Right.
really
Sounds
about
really fun.
saying, you know what, they deserve the same opportunity. They deserve the same opportunity to be honest with them about, you know, talking about, you know, individuals with disabilities or important
So
causes.
how will you move on to this? You have what you have. How will you move on from
How will we grow?
this place to California? You might go to California.
That would
You
be
might go to
awesome.
California. I don't know.
I don't know.
California.
Yeah.
California would be nice too, but we'd be able to do that.
I think, though, the idea with what we do for our programming is, and obviously also events too, because we have a race for Down syndrome awareness, the Race for Respect on Pennsylvania
Right.
Avenue. It's really about building replicable programs. So working with the board of directors, we have a lot of new board members recently, and really tightening the programs so that they can be packaged in a way that they can be replicable. So maybe someone in California, we've had someone that moved who was doing soccer at the Fun Bunch program with her daughter, and she moved to Nevada, and she contacted me and said, can you please bring Fun Bunch here? And at the time, you know, I didn't have any resources to do that, but that's the topic of conversation. Because if we can, you know, I'm in a fortunate circumstance, and if I can package just a little piece of the, you know, experience that I've had to be able to bottle that up or package it up,
Right.
put it on a flash drive, however it's transferred,
And you'll serve more people.
we can
Yeah,
serve more
more
people.
people.
We need to multiply.
Yeah, we need more people.
You can't
Yes.
multiply. So
Yeah.
it's all about multiplication. So we multiply by
Yes.
replicating. We multiply the larger community by things like the Teen Gala or like the race. But making it a lot of fun and making it authentic and real. So these are real, you know, events. It's not just about popping in and, you know, signing something or, you know, which there's value in. Everyone needs a different type of service, but that's what
Right.
we do.
You told me about growing, but are you trying to make it better for other people or not?
Yes.
All right. So if you say yes, what do you mean?
What do I mean by making it better? So I think it's better about making quality programming for where it's not just a couple weeks. You
All
know?
right.
So I think the difference is saying that when I say like I wanted to have activities where it was their thing,
Right.
it's really about if that's something you love,
Yeah.
then you want to do it longer than say just a clinic.
Like Nikhil.
Right.
So Nikhil,
All
you
right.
started when you were younger, and you grew and you focused and you worked hard and did a lot of things, and it's still your thing. It's still your passion.
Right.
Yes.
That's awesome. So you've had a chance to grow in your passion too,
I have. I sure have.
which is really exciting. And I think, Gina, for people to learn more about Devenio, can you share a little bit about the website and your Facebook and how they can sort of plug in to get more information?
Sure. They could go to our website. It's www.devenio.org. We fortunately have a new website that was just launched at the end of last year. There's a volunteer page. We have list of opportunities, whether that's a Fun Bunch, volunteer for the youth program. It could be a coach. It could be a team manager. It could be someone for the dance program. It could be someone that wants to do administrative help, board members. So we list it, and then someone who just says, I really just want information. We do SSL hours, so we work closely with students.
Good.
And so we've had college students, we've had middle school students, we've had high school students, we've had the gamut of volunteers. There's a little something for everyone, I think, with what we do, whether that's someone who wants to just work at registration at the Race for Respect or hand out medals,
Sure.
or if it's someone that wants to take pictures at the race or the gala or come to the soccer program or dance, or it could be someone that wants to be a support system in the dance class, someone who wants to be a one-to-one buddy in the soccer program.
Okay.
Someone who
sounds
wants
like
to
a
sit on the
lot.
board and be
Wow,
more
a
involved
lot.
in strategy. There's a great number of things.
And your social media,
Wow.
how can they find
So we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and it's Devenio News.
Devenio News. Okay, excellent.
So it had to be news. If you don't put news, it won't be. It won't.
I think
you
that
won't
it
get
might pop up where it suggests it,
Yeah.
but that's our official name because we figured that if you're going to look us up on social media, you want to know the news.
Okay. Yes.
That's
yes,
right.
Yes.
And so we're about to wrap up. Nikhil, I want to just ask you if you could describe your experience in one word, what would it be?
I would say it's excitable.
Excitable. Excellent. Well, that is all the time we have on Telling Your Story with Terrell and Nick. Thank you.
Thank you.
To Gina Mitchell and to Nikhil, it's been wonderful to hear all about Devenio, and we encourage our audience to check out Devenio online. And remember, wherever you go,
Keep moving forward.
Thank you.
bye everybody.
Bye.
See you next time.